אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח אני מאמין ואף על פי שיתממע עם כל זה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא
אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח אני מאמין ויהיה בי שיתממע.
I actually want to start with just tell you a story. This is a true story. Okay, totally true story. Going back to July, the year was 1994, so I mean a long time ago. And I was on this island in Maine called Hurricane Island. Anyone ever heard of it? If you have, Hurricane Island is this place in Maine, middle of nowhere, where people do outward bound training programs. I was in the middle of absolutely nowhere, like the waves crashing on the rocks, you know, like the kind of place you say to yourself, why am I here? And I was there for a full day doing all kinds of these activities, and after the end of the day, I'm tired, I'm hot, you know, we're done with what we're doing. What do you think I'm looking for? You can say something. What do you think? Ice cream? Something even more basic. Not the, there are no buses on Hurricane Island. Water. Not even water. Not the boat home. I'm looking for a bathroom. Okay? Now, there are no nice bathrooms. There are no nice bathrooms on Hurricane Island, but there is a porta potty. There's a porta potty in the middle of the woods. The story does go somewhere, so I go to the porta potty. True story. And there on the wall of the porta potty, I'm not kidding you, is this quote that I always have remembered for the rest of my life. And the quote is, I don't know who wrote it or why they wrote it, but it says, ethics is what you do when no one is looking. Okay? Ethics is what you do when no one is looking. Now, just think about those words for a second. I have no idea why they were there, but they were there. Think about those words, right? It's really, really easy to be honest or ethical when people are watching you. But when someone's not watching you, it's a little easier to be dishonest or not as ethical, right? Like how many of you have stolen that extra cookie because mom or dad weren't home? Or how many of you have told mom or dad that, yeah, your homework is done, but it's really not, but no one checks, okay? So the whole idea of ethics is what you do when no one is looking, for some reason, that just struck me. I don't know why, it just struck me, and it's stayed with me all these years. And, you know, maybe it's really simple. It's easy to follow. It's got plenty of guilt put into it, right? Perfect. Perfect. And I would love to come to you today and tell you that my core belief is ethics is what you do when no one is looking, but that would not be totally honest. And the reason is because I have another story to tell you that kind of goes with this. So now I want you to flash forward to last year, last December, not the one that just happened, but the one before, about a year ago. And I was down in Washington, D.C. with one of my closest friends from high school, full of New Year's resolutions, you know, all proud of myself for ethics is what you do when no one is looking, like my core belief for a long time. And we go out on a drive, and we go to CVS, okay, big parking lot. And we pull in next to a car, and we open up our car doors, honest, true story, and just as we open the door, a gust of wind comes out of nowhere. Has this ever happened to you? And the door just kind of flings open. Have you ever heard this, experienced this? Okay. Anyway, I did. Door just flings open. I have no control over it. Now, his side of the car, there's no car next to him, so no big deal. Close the door. Bad luck for me. Next to me is like the most expensive car I could find in the parking lot, like a really nice, big, white, fancy SUV or something, and my door goes right into that car. There's no one in it, no one looking. So quickly I get out, I check the car, you know. Yeah, it's a little scratch, but nothing that a little bit of, you know, like, can't fix. I look carefully. There's a little bump, but you can't really tell. My friend and I look at each other, we get back in the car, and we drive somewhere else in the parking lot. Okay? Go about our business, but of course, what is hanging over my head? Say it. Hurricane Island, what's hanging over my head? Right. Ethics is what you do when no one is looking, right? So no one saw this happen. We quickly escaped. But I'm feeling like that's not the honest thing to do. So I basically forced my friend to go back. Now, he didn't want to go back, so he drove me back to the vicinity, and I got out of the car. I'm being totally honest. This is a totally true story. And I waited for the person to come out of the store when she finally came out, and I told her what I had done, and she was very nice, very, very pleasant, appreciated my honesty, etc., etc. Long story short, because you don't have all morning, this little nick in the paint, honestly, ended up costing me over $1,000. Okay? And $1,000, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whatever, that's a lot of money. A lot of money. So, let me just check my notes here. So if you put these two stories, right, side by side, you have this great idea about ethics is what you do when no one is looking, and then the other story is, well, when something like that ends up costing you $1,000, it's kind of a challenge to your honesty. And I would love to tell you that I would do the same thing again. I would love to tell you that if this happened again, I would go back and find the car owner. But I can't honestly tell you that. I cannot honestly tell you that. The reality of it is that I may not make the same decision if I was faced with that situation today. Now, when I put this together, these thoughts, I did this actually about a week ago. And I thought back to my Schechter days, and I actually put in here a teacher who I just learned tragically passed away this week, Peter Stark. So this is kind of not, this is before I even knew that news. I had a teacher named Peter Stark who taught us Tanakh class. And it was this kind of class where we would look at different verses in the Tanakh, we would discuss them, we would debate them. We would take group tests. I didn't think tests could be group tests. I was like, how can it? But the whole idea was that you would get with a group of 4 people, 5 people, look at a verse, discuss it, analyze it, argue over it, try to figure out what the verse meant. And this class was really hard for me. I struggled with this class. It was hard for me. But I believe that this class actually gave me some of the tools that I need to sort of resolve what I'm telling you today. Okay? I think that learning this tradition of asking questions and being okay with unclarity to a certain extent was taught to me at Schechter, in part. And instead of coming to you today and telling you that my core belief, my core unshakable belief is honesty, that I found comfort in the words on a porta potty many years ago, okay? I want to rather just leave a different message as I conclude this small talk. I believe that it is really okay for one's core beliefs or one's thoughts to be a work in progress. A better way to think about it is that it's okay for your core beliefs, whether it's honesty or whatever it may be, to evolve. And my real thought are that the core beliefs are always changing, always developing, and always challenging you. They're a work in progress. And using this I believe, if I were to conclude, and excuse me for reading this, but just want to make sure I thought about how I want to write this. This I believe, your core beliefs will definitely grow and change with your experiences, and that's okay. As long as you are okay with that, and as long as you grow with them. It's important for all of you to keep asking questions, checking yourself, and to make meaning out of every one of your decisions. And that's what I wanted to share with you today, and that's all.
Do